All right, this is going to be a quick disclaimer to all the new people to Apex who think that like, oh, I need to learn movement to either like break aim assist or it's just going to level up my gameplay. It's not. I was talking with two other movement players and we all three made the same mistake when we first started. And that is we spent way too much time focusing on trying to learn movement. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to learn movement and you should learn some, but don't waste your first 1,500 hours in the game only learning movement like we did. Instead, focus on learning like gameplay mechanics and maybe like specific mechanics meant for your character that you main. I'll go over a couple in this video, not too much because I don't really play too many characters. I kind of just stick with a couple. But if you want to go like learn specific movement, that's fine. Don't spend tons and tons of time learning movement. And this video is going to be more geared towards people who already kind of have a grasp on the game, decent aim, and like decent game knowledge in general. I'm going to be gearing this towards them. So if you're like probably above average, this video is like, you'll probably like already know most of this stuff just in general. This is more of just like a general thing on what you should learn as like a new-ish player. One of the movement players I did talk to was a controller player. So this, if you guys are thinking about, oh, this is only going to be M&K. No, this is for controller as well. I'll put, like, I have his right next to mine. And I'll say both of what is the pros and cons of either learning it on controller versus mouse and keyboard, and so on. The first thing people usually think about when they think movement in Apex is usually going to be the super glide. Now, on M&K, I would say probably don't learn it unless you're just trying to like have some fun. It's not really too useful in the middle of a fight unless there's like, it's like super specific scenario based. But it's fun to learn, so if you can like get it down, then sure, and then just continuously use it and progressively get better at it until you are comfortable using it in a fight. And on the flip side, on controller, it's not worth learning because of aim assist and like you should be wanting to focus on aiming, and if you're gliding into a fight, you're just going to get beamed by other controller players and or mouse and keyboard players. The next movement tech I'll go over is the fatigue wall bounce, probably the most useful mechanic in my opinion. It's more useful than the normal wall bounce because you can just do it on the fly, you can do it without any running space, and you can just do it in the middle of a fight and nobody really expects it. It's easy to learn, and it's pretty easy to learn on both controller and M&K. Because it's just a wall bounce, but you jump right before you do it. The third one is bunny hopping, and on controller, it's only useful if you main horizon, and on M&K, you just bind your scroll wheel to down, and it's pretty simple that way. And most people already have this to do wall bounces, but it's really easy. And the fourth thing is going to be the fade slide. On controller, apparently it just came automatically, but for M&K, you just press your holster button and then you quickly slide, which makes your sliding faster. I'll show a couple examples in the background. I probably already am in editing, but it's pretty easy. You just holster, slide, pull your gun out, and shoot. The next thing is zipline super jump on controller. Yes, it's worth it to get out of enemies LOS, and same on M&K. On M&K, you just bind your scroll wheel to down, and it's super easy to do. And by the way, I will link some of mokeysnipers' videos down in the description if you guys are wanting some tutorials on some of this stuff, if you guys don't really know what this stuff is. Next thing is Mantle Cancel. It's really easy to do on controller and M&K both. We both said yes, you could learn it for style points, but it's not really going to come in useful. I can't really think of a single time where I won a fight because I used this tech. But it's easy to learn, and for style points, you can learn it. Next is going to be the Mantle Jump. I know it seems like a lot of people are using this, but it's not useful. I can only think of maybe 1 or 2 times in 1,000 hours where I've actually won a fight or got away because I Mantle Jumped. It's not really useful and not worth learning, judging by the time it took me to get the hang of it. Some people might get the hang of it sooner, so you could try it and see if you like get the hang of it earlier, but it's not really worth like wasting your time on. Or unless you play on Broken Moon, the new buildings and have places to mantle jump all over the map. So if that's your favorite map, then sure, go ahead and learn mantle jumps. Other than that, kind of useless. Now we're going to go over some of the legend specific tech. The ones I have here are just Octane and a little bit of Pathfinder. I only recently started playing Pathfinder, and the only other movement character who's considered like movement based is Octane. The first thing is going to be the Slowdown Cancel. You're just going to do this by just queuing right after you get stunned by something, whether it be an Arc Star, a fence from a Watson. If you just get stunned, you can easily get out of it by queuing. Now, it isn't really going to work on caustic gas because of it's constantly slowing you rather than just a one-time stun. But other than that, yeah, it's really useful. Next is B-Hop healing. Now, Controller actually said he doesn't really use this, but on M&K, I use it all the time, and so does my friend. And yeah, you should learn it on both, I think. I'm not really sure why you wouldn't learn it on both, considering it's pretty easy to do. You just B-hop on Octane while healing, and if you need a little boost, you can jump and then start bunny hopping. Next up is going to be ceiling surfing on Octane's jump pad. This one isn't really useful. You're just going to get hit, and it's kind of hard to hit people out of it. So I would just kind of skip over this one. If you do want to learn it, go ahead. It's pretty easy to do, but it's just going to make you a target. Next is going to be wall running, which is a thing you can do off of Octane's jump pad, a grapple from Pathy, and out of a queue from Revenant. I can't really think out of any more off the top of my head, but those three, yeah, you should learn them. They're pretty useful. You can a lot of people don't expect you to like tap strafe around a corner on M&K when you in wall run. A lot of them just expect you to go in kind of like a straight-ish line. And lastly, Sigma stepping. Now, this one is kind of sad because yes, it was going to be a yes, but it's getting nerfed tomorrow. I'm recording this before the mid-season patch notes because I'm going on a trip. But unfortunately, patch notes came out and it is getting nerfed. In fact, it's not really just getting nerfed, it's getting completely removed. It's going to become one of the banned techs. So, unfortunately, you guys aren't even going to get a chance to learn this if you haven't already. But I'll put a clip up here of me doing it, just that way you can kind of see what it was. Now for Pathy, really all I know how to do right now are going to be slingshots, which are very useful, and then also the jump grapples, which are very useful. I don't really know any advanced tech yet, because I'm not really focusing on that. I'm just kind of focusing on learning the timing on his grapple cooldown, and also how to use his ultimate the best way. As I said, movement is not something you should be wasting your time on when either learning a new character or just trying to learn the game in general.